12 million. At 13.5, it is with you, page, and 7. $14 million. At 14 million, it is with you, page, Fairwin and Catherine, and selling for $14 million. O'Keefe's Puppy, selling to you, page, for $14 million to PAL 2306. Congratulations to you.
Okay, ladies
On
and
to
gentlemen.
lot 7, beautiful shell by Edward Weston for this vintage print. And let's start here at 550, 650, at $650,000, at 650, at 650,000 now, at $650,000 for the Western, at 650, at 650,000.
Can anybody hear me or
700,000,
the audio from the auction?
at 50, at 750. One more.
This is
at
turning into a
750 now,
disastrous live stream.
at 750,000. At 750. Fair winning on the phones. At 800,000.
Okay, we're
if you want.
on the Edward Weston.
Now with Darius Himes, chairman of the photography department. Would you like 850?
If you'll notice, we are watching,
820 at
on
820. Would you like
Christie's
850, Darius?
YouTube
At
channel,
820 now.
not
With the
their
lady in the room.
website, because
At
they were hacked
850,000.
last week, right
One more?
before they are
Would you like
getting ready to
880?
sell
No,
$800
at
million
850,
worth
we
of art.
sure? At 850,000. Going back to Darius's telephone, no regrets, for $850,000. Sold to you, 850 to PAL 2400.
I, of course, had a whole introduction planned, but not being
Lot
able to
8,
go live.
Monet, coming from the
That kind of
Nelson
threw a
Atkins
wrench in
Museum of Art, and the
Well, here
heirs of
comes
the
the Claude Monet.
Arthur, sold in part to benefit the museum's future acquisitions, shown here on your right. The other version of which
This one's from
is at the
1888,
Barberini Museum in Potsdam.
about 3 feet tall
That this painting has
by
been
2.5
requested
feet
by
wide.
the Museum d'Arte de Sao Paulo, Chateaubriand, for a forthcoming exhibition. Seems like a nightclub atmosphere. And we should start here at $13 million, $14
Glad
million,
to hear
$15 million now, at
everybody's
15
able to
million,
hear
$16 million
everything.
with you, with Imogen Care, of course, at 16 million, at 17 million, at 17 million now, 18 million, at 18 million, back with Imo, at 18 million with Imogen Care against all of you
The
here.
estimate to this
At
is
$18
18
million
to
here, with
25
first
million.
telephone ahead of you in the room, at $18 million. It is here at 18 million with Imogen Care. At
All the
18
big
million
houses have
against
been
you in the room,
having
ahead of
sales this
online,
week, and it's
at
been a
$18
really
million
kind of
for the
weird
Monet,
time.
and
People are
against the
afraid
phones
to
here.
sell,
18
and
million,
people aren't really
500,000
wanting
for
to
Giovanna
buy.
Battazzini, the chairman of the department here, at 18 million 5. At 18 million 5 with the new telephone with Giovanna Imo.
Oftentimes,
At
these
18
works
million
are
500,000.
actually
Still with you, Giovanna.
pretty
At
much
18
sold
million
before
5.
the auction even
And against
starts
you,
with
Imo.
what's called a guaranteed bid.
At 18 million
So they will
500,000.
give a potential bidder a percentage. Christie's
With
would
you
give a
still.
potential bidder a percentage
Against
of
you,
their
Imo.
profit
And against all the telephones here.
if they promise to bid at a certain level.
$18,500,000.
So a lot of what we've been seeing this week
at
has been paintings come
last
up
chance in the room
for
at 18,500,000.
and just get that one bid, which is to
for
the
you
guarantor.
And selling to Giovanna's telephone for $18,500,000. So to you, Joe, to
if we would have been able to see that first lot, which was a Picasso, I think the estimate was 2 to 4 million.
I love Liberty, lot number 9, the
And
Liechtenstein.
I was trying to take care of
the collection of Norman and
technology,
Lear,
but I think they sold that for about 1.1 billion on a $2 to $4 million estimate. So the auction house are working hard
at 450,
to really get everything
500,000
sold.
with John Flam, of course, the vice chairman here. Other department, 550,000 with Alex Marshall, 600,000 now at 650,000 with Sonia Roth at 650 now against both of you at 650,000 with the third telephone, 700,000 now.
So this is a Liechtenstein from 81.
700,000 and 50 with Sian Chatko. Hi, Sian. At 750 now against the four of you at 750.
Printed paper collage with graphite
and 50.
About 24 by 18 inches. So it's a smaller one.
At 900.
Estimate is 600,000 to 800,000. So they do have
and 50 with Sonia at 950.
bidders here wanting this one.
At 950 with Sonia Roth at 950 against the three of you. At 950, it is with you at 950 ahead of you in the room. 1 million. Welcome Maria at $1 million. With Maria Los now, the fifth telephone at 1 million. At 1 million. At $1 million.
Christie's website getting hacked also has my job on this end a lot harder.
At 1 million. It is with you then, Mahia. Against you, David Connor.
I've got my iPad open with a PDF document.
$1 million. Fair warning.
So I can get the details of each piece.
In a new place at 1,100,000. 1,200,000. At 1.2. Would you like 1.3, Giovanna?
So the present work, it says, is a unique study for a promotional poster.
At 1,200,000.
It was published in conjunction with I Love Liberty, a special broadcast on national television in 1982. This was purchased at that time straight from Leo Castelli Gallery in New York, which was a very important New York gallery back then. And it's been with the original owner ever since.
1,600,000. At 1,600,000 with Mahielos. 1,700,000. And 50.
So not a bad deal. I'm guessing this person bought the poster at the show or from Leo. I don't know, a few $100, maybe a few $1,000.
And 50. $1,900,000.
There's only been a few lots this week that have had kind of bidding wars. Again, most of them, you know, they'll have their one guaranteed bid.
$1,900,000. It is back with you, Giovanna.
And occasionally, maybe a couple bids after that.
For $1,900,000 to Giovanna's telephone at $1,900,000. Sold to panel 2356.
Okay, here comes the Hockney.
On to lot number 10. Lot number 10, the Hockney masterpiece from the Lear collection shown on the screen behind me, alone being
5 feet by 5 feet. Estimate 25 to 35 million.
Dreams paintings, vastly exhibited in Hockney's retrospective at the Tate, the Pompidou Center, at the Met, and for the first time at auction today. And we should start here at $18 million. At $18 million.
Just 6 or 12 months ago, probably would have gone crazy. But
$19 million.
Who knows what's going to happen tonight?
$19 million. At $19 million with Catherine on it now at $19 million.
I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about
21 million. At 21 million.
When people aren't so sure about the market, when the educated buyers really come out. And you often get something for
still here with you at 21 million.
Quite a bit less could and
23 million now. At 23 million, one more. At $23 million now. at $23 million. Still with you, Catherine, at 24 million, at 24 million now. 500,000, of course, at 24,500,000 now, at 24,500,000.
I'm going to try to look up
24,500,000. It is still with you, Catherine, ahead of you here.
Hockney's record.
24,500,000. Are we sure? At 24,500,000. And it's against all the telephones here. And selling to Catherine's telephone for $24,500,000. For the Hockney, to Catherine's telephone, ahead of you in the room. Last chance at $24,500,000. Fair warning online at $24,500,000 and selling the Hockney to Catherine's telephone. Last chance here, and it is going to you. Congratulations, paddle 1719. Thank you, Catherine.
Okay, so Hockney's record at auction was 90 million. I thought it was just shy of 100.
1960. And we should start at 1,234,567.
I apologize with all the technology issues. I didn't have all of this stuff open like I had planned.
At 1,000,007 against all the telephones here. At 1,000,007. At 1,000,007.
Ellsworth Kelly estimate 2.5 to 3.5 million.
At 1,000,007. No. At 1,000,007 for the Kelly. Fair warning at 1,000,007. Ahead of you in the room at 1,700,000. Sonia, it's against you. Mariolina, against you at 1,700,000. Are we all through? At 1,000,007. At 1,000,007. Anna Maria, anytime at 1,000,007. At 1,000,007. Sure. At 1,000,007. If it's a little bit. You see any interest?
I can't tell if they have an actual bid or if it's not going to sell. So
at 1,000,007 and 50.
Okay,
at 1,750,000.
just get a bid, so it's going to sell.
Against you, Alex, at 1,750,000 for you now. At 1,800,000. At 1,000,008. At 1,800,000. One more.
Got a question about can artists sell their own work at auctions? Well, certain artists can. Damien Hirst, Sotheby's did a dedicated auction of just Damien Hirst's work from his studio, but that's rare. If you don't have an established auction record, auction's not the best place to sell your work. All of these artists we're watching here tonight have a huge, extensive auction history. So if you don't have an auction history, you don't have auction records, auction is a terrible place to sell your artwork.
Going here to you at 1,850,000. Last chance to the rest of the room at 1,850,000. It is for you, madam. Paddle 387.
Haha, yes. There was indeed a YouTuber you know who did an Ellsworth Kelly video.
Beautiful work from 1973.
You can find that on this channel if you haven't seen it yet after the live stream.
$5,500,000 at $5 million.
Okay, did anyone notice? Here's the Ed Ruscha for 7 to 10 million. I don't know how well you can see it. I'm wearing my Ed Ruscha boss hat tonight.
At $6,500,000. $7 million.
He has a retrospective up right now
at $7
at MoMA.
At 7. Still with Max Carter's telephone at $7 million against you, Barrett and Joanna for $7 million. They're still with you, ahead of you in the room. $7,500,000 in new place with Alex Watanabe.
So I can't afford a $7 million Ed Ruscha painting, but I can afford the Ed Ruscha hat from the gift shop.
At $8 million and Joanna at $8,500,000. Welcome back, Maria, at $8,500,000 in a new place on the fourth telephone now at $8,500,000. At $8,500,000.
John Conley, clarify your
telephone. And
you mean if like someone else had painted that picture of
$9 million
water fountains, would it have sold?
$500,000.
I mean, the appeal is because it's Hockney and he's maybe the most important British artist of the 20th century. Certainly one of the most important artists in the Western world of the 20th century. So his water scenes, his pool scenes.
Still with you, Mahia.
are all highly
9,500,000,
desirable
Alex, what should we do?
and bring pretty good money.
9,500,000, one more. At 9,500,000. Still with you, Mahia.
So the Richet's up to 9.5.
Alex, at 9,500,000.
Against a 7 to 10 estimate.
Still with you, Mahia.
To give you an idea,
Works. At 9.5, Alex. 10 million.
let's look at Ed Ruscha's auction records.
500,000.
So Ed Ruscha's auction record is a little over $52 million. And that was for a piece not much bigger than this.
No.
His record came from 74, which is kind of the sweet spot for Ruscha. This is a little bit later in 73.
At 10,500,000.
And this also comes from the collection of Norman Lear, the TV producer.
500,000.
If that sounds familiar. And here they're kind of trying to just inch out every bid they can because bids on some of these lots this season can be few and far between. So if they've got interest, they're going to try to get as much as possible.
Alex, what should we do? We're going to have to sell it at some point, at some point, really. At 11.5, it is still with you, Mahia. A few more lots to go. At 11.5, Alex, stay with me. 12 million. 500,000. I think Mahia deserves brownie points, don't you think? I mean, seriously. 12,500,000 with Mahia.
Auctioneer trying to keep the room entertained and engaged.
12,500,000. It is still with you, Mahia.
Which can be tough.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you so
sometimes.
Much. Congratulations, Mahia, at 12,500,000.
12.5 for the Ruscha plus buyer's premium, which is going to be
lot 13,
around 25.
Cornell,
a little bit less.
Prince, like here, 1952, and we start here at 400,000, 420, 450, 480,000 now. At 480.
This is one of Joseph Cornell's boxes.
480,000 ahead of you online. At 480. At 480.
These are usually in the
at $480
million range, like it looks like this one's going to be. So they're not the big ticket ones, but they kind of show.
$480,000.
Person who buys this is like showing off that they really know about art. This is not a pretty picture for the wall. This is a historical object.
Is a pass at 480.
Oh, and that one did not sell.
On to lot 14, the De Kooning from 1969. And let's start here at 2,800,000, 3,000,000, 3,200,000.
5 foot by 4 foot De Kooning. Estimate is 4 to 6 million.
At 3,200,000, 3,500,000, yes. At 3,500,000, yes. Why not? At 3,500,000, 3,800,000. At 3,800,000 with David Clive Desvan against you here and against you, madam. At 3,800,000 now. It is with you for now at 3,800,000 with David at 3,900,000 in a new place now at 3,900,000 at 3,900,000 with Kapira Ryan at 3,900,000 against you, madam. At 3,900,000, it's still time for 4 million. Back with you, David.
Excuse me.
At 4 million.
This is lot
4,2 Kapira at $4 million. With you, David.
I can stick around through the Van Gogh, which I think is like lot 35.
At 4,200,000.
This sale will probably go quite a bit later than that. I've got to hit the road first thing in the morning, so I've got to finish a load of laundry and pack at some point.
4,800,000. Back with Kapira. It is with you at 4,800,000. Are you happy? At 4,800,000 with Kapira against you, David, and you, Emily. At 4,800,000 and you, madam.
The auction houses have been really good about trying to get the consigners to estimate these things very conservatively. They might be
against both of you. At $5
consigners might have fought for higher estimates before.
At 5,200,000.
But I must commend them. They are. You can tell they're working hard this.
5,300,000.
Excuse me. You can tell they're working hard this week.
At 5.3, would you like 5.5, David? At 5.4, let's try and stay in twos, ideally. At 5,400,000, would you like 5.6, Kapira? At 5,400,000, at 5,400,000 with you, David. I'll try 5.6 exceptionally at 5,400,000 with you, David, at 5,600,000.
And again, you can tell for a $5 million piece, which is a lot of money, obviously, but they would probably be moving a lot quicker
Chairman of Texas here.
If it was even last November, because they're trying to get through this and get to the even bigger valued lot. I think last year there were
from either of you at 5,600,000,
6 or 7 pieces across all the auction houses that sold for more than $40 million. And this year there's only, I think, been one, and that was at Phillips for a very nice
5,800,000. It is still with you against both of you. Next is 6 million. Selling here otherwise for $5,800,000. 6 million at 6 million. Back with David now at $6 million. Against you, Kapira and Emily, and you, madam, at 6 million. Would like 6.2, either of you, at $6 million. Still with you, David. At 6 million. One more, Emily. Or Kapira. 6,200,000.
I understand the question now. If Hockney could
try 6.5,
works from a studio, could he possibly get the price? The biggest prices for Hockney's work go for the historical.
At 6 million too.
What year was that?
Emily's telephone, Kapira. Now or never.
Flipping back. Hold on.
$6,200,000. $6,500,000 with $400,000.
That piece is from 1967.
For now, at 6.4, 6.2. Would you like?
What is the historical work that's
would you like 6.6?
Most desirable? I'm sure he could sell things directly from his studio. I'm sure the auction houses would take them.
At 6.4. It is still here with you, David.
I'm not sure what the benefit would be. He's making plenty selling things on the private market, which is the ideal way that you would want to sell. You don't want to dilute your auction market. You were to put your own work at auction, even an artist like Hockney, you want to kind of control that. And you can have much more control selling your work in the private gallery setting. I hope that
David, and you, madam,
plus, I don't think Hockney needs the money, and he does not need to do any sort of liquidation sale.
You got to help me, guys. At 6.9 million, it is with you against you, Emily, at 6.9 million now. At 6.9 million with David.
Bidding continues for the de Kooning.
7.2, David, or more. At 7,200,000. Would you like 7.5, Emily? Ideally at 7 million too. This beautiful de Kooning at 7 million too. It's still time with David's telephone against you, Kapira, at 7 million too.
It's a nice de Kooning. I don't know if I'd call it beautiful. It's kind of weird.
You sure?
I just see a big smiley face
to you, David,
right in the middle of it.
$7,200,000. Last chance, Kapira, at 7.2. Sold to you, 7.2. Congratulations. 2015. 3215. 2315. Thank you, David. Lot 15.
Glad that helped.
Beautiful early Rauschenberg spread. Rodeo Palace shown here on the screen, 1975. The first work.
Here's a really cool Rauschenberg
series and installed in Norman Lear's living room.
That was a Norman Lear's
major 1976 retrospective.
It's a giant piece.
At 1,600,000, 1,700,000, 1,800,000,
those are life-size doors.
Now at 1,900,000 for the Rauschenberg. At
1,900,000,
2 million with the Porter, the head of all master paintings. At $2 million, it is here with you now. At $2 million,
that would turn some bidders off.
$2 million for the Rauschenberg. At 2,200,000. At 2 million two. At 2,200,000 now. 2,500,000.
Plus, also Rauschenberg's doesn't paint pretty pictures.
With you for now, and I can sell it. You sure?
Say what you will about the sprinklers.
It is still with you.
That's a pretty painting of water by Hockney. This is a very different thing we're looking at here.
And to you online for $2,500,000. Are we all through? At $2,500,000. So to you, Francois, paddle 2316.
2.5 hammer, so about 3 million all in on that.
On to lot 16. Lot 16 star pinball, 1962. Beautiful picture, which has been in the same family for over 3 decades. And let's start here at 7,500,000, 8 million at $8 million now. 8,500,000 with Margot Rosenberg.
Wayne Thiebaud has my heart. California artist.
At 8,500,000 on the first telephone. At 8,500,000, 9 million. At 9 million now. At 9 million. At 9,500,000.
So I'm looking at the provenance here. Ellen Stone, another really important New York dealer,
at 9,500,000.
purchased this directly from the artist in 1963.
At 9,500,000 and selling to Margot's telephone.
He then sold it to the current owner in 1996.
7021.
So kind of nice that that only had 2 owners. It's going to a 3rd owner.
Magnificent Warhol.
This could be a big one, ladies and gentlemen.
And 4 versions of which are already in museums, and the only one which is fully
about 7 feet by 7 feet.
I guess that was the idea.
Warhol flower.
It's been for 3 decades in the same collection and was selected by Castelli to be included in his inaugural flowers exhibition in 1964. And we should start here at $15 million. At $15 million, $16 million.
Hear that? That's pretty cool. Leo Castelli had this in his first flowers
exhibition. $18 million with Alex Trotter here, the chairman of the department, at $18 million. At $18 million on the first telephone. At $18 million. At $18 million on the first telephone for the world. At $18 million, $19 million. At 19, $20 million. At $20 million, back with you, Alex. At $20 million. At $20 million.
Sorry, the technology
flowers with you, Alex.
Issues continue.
$20 million. Against you here and here in the room.
Estimate this on this is 20 to 30.
Are we all through?
They could have just had a 20 million guarantee.
$20 million. Fair warning to the phones. At $20 million. Last chance here. $20 million. Try 21. It should be 22. At $20 million with Alex Trotter. Selling otherwise for $20 million. At $20 million. Last chance on the $21 million in a new place for Giovanna. At $21 million. Would you like 22, Alex? At $21 million now.
The auctioneer's not messing around. She was trying to bid $20,500,000 for 10 or 15 seconds. He wouldn't take it.
At 21.
He was insisting on 21 million.
With you, Joe. Against you, Alex.
And it's the auctioneer who has some leeway there. They can decide what bids they're going to take.
At 21 million.
They want to cut a bid or
with you,
not.
Joe, against all the other telephones for 22 million. Back with you, Alex. At 22 million. Against both of you now. At 22 million. Now you can try.
I agree about that.
In a new place with Connor Jordan at 22 million.
Beautiful Warhol.
With Connor Jordan, Deputy Chairman of the
This would be one I would want in my house if I was a bidder and had the funds.
23 million.
My favorite Warhols are actually his self-portraits. In particular, his fright wig.
500,000.
Maybe my favorite painting, certainly a top 5, is at the Fort Worth Modern Art Museum, which is a spectacular museum if you haven't been. It was designed by my favorite architect, Tado Ando, who does these. He's a Japanese architect and does these buildings out of all concrete.
500,000.
And when you walk into the Fort Worth Modern, you check in, get your ticket or whatever, and then you walk this beautiful concrete staircase. And at the very top is a Warhol fright wig. I think it's this size. It's probably 8 feet by 8 feet. On a black background, him in his fright wig in green. I've told my sister who lives in Fort Worth that when I die and I'm cremated, she is to secretly take a little teaspoonful of my ashes and drop it in the Modern Museum in Fort Worth underneath this Warhol. And then the janitors can clean it up later. I don't care. But that's my plan.
27 million. 500,000.
Yeah, John, I definitely will. I've been meaning to kind of and thinking about a more in-depth video on auctions and bidding and how that works. I haven't quite wrapped my head around how to present it, but it's definitely in the works. I love watching auctions. I'm, of course, not a bidder at this level, but I still find them fascinating. So, yeah, I think that would be a good idea, and it's been something I've thought about for a while. So we'll definitely do like a deep dive into the auction world. So I know you got to go. Thanks so much for watching.
Yep, at 30,500,000. It is with you, Connor.
So this has gone up to 30 million, which was the high estimate.
And again to Giovanna.
I thought it could have maybe gone higher, but they at least had enough bidders to go to the high estimate.
And selling the Royal Flowers to you, Connor, for $30,500,000. Congratulations, Connor. 2326. On to lot 18.
Yeah, the Warhol drawings are great too. You got to be careful with those because they can be so simple. A lot of people have tried to fake them and copy them.
Which has been in the same collection since.
So you need to make sure that it's been sanctioned by the estate.
And we should start here at
and the estate doesn't
$4,200,000,
verify works anymore, but they used to.
At $5 million now.
It's kind of a whole. You can do a whole other video on Warhol authentication. So here's the Monet at 6 to 8 million.
At $5,500,000 on the first telephone here with you, Joe. At $5,500,000. 6 million with John Simkoviak now at 6,500,000. At 6,500,000
by 3 feet.
At 6,500,000. At 6,500,000.
Not a haystack, but if you wanted a
in a new place with Isabella,
little Monet for your living room or bedroom,
$7 million now. At 7,500,000. At 7,500,000. At 7,500,000. One more.
I hope everyone has an adult beverage, beer, glass of wine, or cocktail.
Isabella, Joanna at 7,500,000.
I did a number of these live streams last fall for the big auction season in November.
At 7
and I did them in my office. I decided to do them in the comfort of my living room for this latest round.
Yes? Is that a bid, Joe? 8,500,000.
Still going on the Monet. It's now above the high estimate.
Joanna? It's with Giovanna's telephone at 8,500,000. It's still here.
Yes, so one teaspoon of my ashes will go to the Andy of Fort Worth Modern. The rest of my ashes are going to Beacon, New York, where my friends have been instructed to sprinkle them outside of my favorite museum. And my ashes need to be mixed in with my dog's ashes. So that's a whole nother story.
1987, alluding to her love for classical music. And
all right, John Mitchell's been on a hot streak.
8,500,000. 9 million with Jonathan Flom right away, of course, at 9 million. At $9 million here with the first telephone.
She had a few
Mitchell at 9,500,000. At 9,500,000 now. 10
million. I want to say the highest was
11 million with
20 million.
At $11 million. At $11 million against you here, and you, Joanna, at $11 million now.
And this is one that's a little bit later for her.
With you, Sarah.
These have really been gaining steam, not streams.
For $11 million. One more. At 11 million, then it is selling to you, Sarah, for $11 million. Last chance in the room for the Mitchell. $11 million.
This makes sense. The one that went for 20
sold about 23
was similar in palette to this, but I think it was about twice as big. So
lot 20,
at some point you're paying per square foot or square inch.
Major private collection and named in honor of Peggy Guggenheim's homes in Venice.
From what I understand, Giacometti's market
58.
has gotten a lot softer.
At $14 million, at $14 million, $15 million, $16 million now, at $17 million right away with Max Card, of course, at $17 million, at $17 million.
He's had a couple pieces
at $17 million.
At or near the 100 million mark.
It is still with you for now at $17 million with Max Carter's telephone at $18 million. At 18
this is
million
an estimate
now,
of 20 to 30 million.
19 million. At 19. No, it's back here with Max at $19 million. At 19, then it is for you and selling to Max's telephone for $19 million. Are we sure? At 19 million, fair warning here, and selling at $19 million to Giacometti, to you, Max. 19 million. 1723.
And the auctioneers can be very good at disguising if there were other bidders or if it was just that one bidder at the guaranteed price.
Most treasured period of the artist.
Or at the reserve.
1961.
You don't always know.
And let's start you at 8,500,000. At 8,500,000 now. At 9 million straight away with Alex Rotten.
Robert Ryman, $10 to $15 million estimate.
At $9 million now. At 9 million. At 9,500,000.
6.5 feet by 6.5 feet.
9,800,000. Back with Alex at 9,000,008. At 9.8. No, back with you then at 9,800,000 and selling to Alex's telephone.
Painted in the early 60s.
800,000 a wheel through at 9,000,008. It is going to you for 9.8. So 9.8. 7042. Lot 22. Lot 22, this major Rauschenberg.
Okay, Nashville corrects me. I said it was around 100 million for the Giacometti auction record. It was 141 million.
Education and other educational prospects.
I remember when that happened.
This very rare.
Yeah, I sold Giacometti short there. I apologize to all viewers. Apologies to all viewers.
In the first 1960 exhibition at Leo Castelli. And
but
in fact, the last one left
the market has
from this exhibition
gone quite a bit softer since that $140 million.
At $5 million. At $5,500,000.
So here's the second Rauschenberg.
At $5,500,000. At $5,500,000, $6 million, of course. At $6 million, $6,500,000. At $6
this is about 4 feet by 4 feet. So they call this is more suited to more collectors. You can fit this in anybody's house or Manhattan apartment or wherever you would want to put it. It's not a giant installation.
Paddle 1,000 at $7 million. But I'll take 7.5 if you wish at $7 million. It is with an absentee bid. It's the same. Yep, 1,000 at $7 million. And selling to Alex's telephone for $7 million. Are we sure? At 7 million, do you want to try 7.2? At 7 then, going away to Alex's telephone for $7 million. Sold 7 million.
Okay, I'm guessing that was just one bid on that.
1,000.
Here's a weird Jasper Johns.
The early 1961 Jasper Johns, coming from the collection of Mary and John Papa John, the first lot of their collection presented this
26
evening.
by 20 inches. It's his famous number series.
Canvas, very rare work. And let's start here at
this one is a metal collage on canvas, sculpted metal over a wood frame. I just think it looks weird.
At $3 million,
I don't know. It wouldn't be the Jasper Johns I would want.
For the Jasper Johns, $4 million in the first place here with Sarah Friedlander at $4 million now. At $4,200,000, $4,500,000. At $4,500,000. At $4,500,000, back with you, Sarah, and I can sell it for $4,500,000 at $4,500,000. $4,800,000 in new place with Daphne Rioux. Welcome.
Well, there appears to be at least two people that disagree with me and want this on their wall.
At $4,900,000. Would you like 5, Daphne? At $4,900,000. $5 million. At $5 million. With you, Daphne.
We have reached a low estimate of 5 to 7 million.
5,500,000.
And the bidding continues.
Would you like 6, Daphne? At $5,500,000. It is here. It's very rare 5,800,000. With Daphne's telephone. Sarah, are we sure? It is with you then and selling for $5,800,000 to Daphne's telephone at $5,800,000. So to you, Daphne, paddle 2312.
Okay. Ligier is next.
Lot 24.
Fernand Ligier from 1922.
Beautiful.
It's a small one.
Private New York collection
14 by 10 inches.
And formerly owned by Aux Enfants. 1922. And let's start you at $600,000 only at 650, 700,000. At 700,000, at 700,050, of course, with you, sir. At 750,000 with the gentleman here in the room. At 750 for the Ligier against 800,050.
The big works like those Warhol flowers have that wall power. But there's something really great about a small, intimate work that's 14 by 10 inches. It forces you to like get close.
With this gentleman here at 1,100,000. Was that 1-2? At 1,100,000.
I don't know. It just feels very intimate around a small painting.
At 1,300,000. Is back with you here at 1,350 perhaps. At 1,300,000. Selling to you then.
Up to 1.3. Estimate is 1 to 1.5.
The rest of the room at 1,300,000. At 1.3 then it is for you. Sold 1.3. And your paddle number is 148. Lot 25. Lot 25. This superb Picasso portrait of a woman, femme au chapeau assise.
Another Picasso.
And which was famously exhibited at Picasso's posthumous exhibition at the Palais des Papes in 1973. And coming from a distinguished European collection. And let's start
I think this is the one, if I understand. This Picasso's
at $13 million now.
Definitely a Picasso.
At $14 million.
But it's not
with Alessandro at $15 million.
Picasso would sign his work when he finished and sold a work. And this one is not signed.
At $15 million.
It's got impeccable provenance. It came directly from the family, from his daughter. I'm not doubting the authenticity of it. It definitely is what it is. But because it's not signed, that will scare off some bidders.
At 17, it is still with you now. At 17 million, with Alessandro's telephone. At $17 million, are we sure?
So we're at 17 million against a 20 to $30 million estimate.
To you, Alessandro, for $17 million. Are we all through? Last chance online. At $17 million, with you, Ali. Last chance of the room. And selling the Picasso to you. Congratulations, about 7025.
So if you think about it, if even just one or two bidders wanted a signed Picasso and therefore weren't bidding, even if they love that piece, that really has an effect on the final sales price.
And
okay, here's a big Richter.
$7 million, $7,500,000, $8 million.
78 by 70 inches.
At $8 million.
What's that? 6.5 feet by.
At $8 million.
7.5 feet by 7 feet.
$8 million for the Richter. At $8 million.
This market's been softer too.
No, it's with Connor. At $8,500,000. With Connor, $9 million. At $9 million now. At $9 million. At 9,500,000. No, it is for you then for now at 9,500,000.
Nashville and asks what thought goes into the order in which auction items are presented.
At 9,500,000.
I can tell you that's the having organized a number of auctions. That's pretty much the last conversation you have before the catalog is published.
27, the beautiful
you
Stella,
think about
1974.
The prices of things, you try to create a flow.
Let's start here.
You don't necessarily want all your big ticket items at the very beginning. You want them spread out. Kind of want the art to tell a story if that's possible. You look at more newer contemporary stuff and juxtaposing that with some historical material. So that's where it becomes more of an art, not a science.
At 4 million, 5 million, back with the gentleman here at 5 million.
So Stella, if you watched a recent video of mine, just passed away.
At $5 million and selling against
which one might
everyone else, and
think
the
would
phones
cause
included,
a
to the gentleman,
bump in the
$5
auction
million.
prices.
Still with you.
But his work
At
hasn't been
$5
selling very
million.
well this week.
Last chance, Olivier, at $5 million for you then, and selling for $5 million against you, Laszlo, at $5 million. Sold $5 million to paddle 446.
So that one did sell. That Stella did sell for $5 million against a 6 to 8 estimate.
28 Crow Hill.
Now here's an early Joan Mitchell.
2066 Joan Mitchell shown here on the screen.
7 to 10 million.
Same collection for over 3 decades. And let's start here at $5 million.
About
at $5,500,000 now. At $5,500,000. At $5,500,000 now. At $5,500,000. At $5,500,000. It's against you here. At $5,500,000. At $5,500,000. At $5,500,000. At $5,500,000.
There could be some Joan Mitchell attrition happening.
At $5,500,000.
Because there has been a lot of her work coming up this week.
At $5,500,000. Fair warning then. At $6 million.
Okay, they did get a
$6
bid.
million now.
Joan Mitchell set a couple auction records. Excuse me again. Last November. So I think anyone with a Joan Mitchell, after seeing the results last November, was excited to sell.
Fair warning at $6,500,000.
So that's why there's been quite a few on the market.
At $6,500,000. It's a pass at 6.5.
And that did not sell.
On to lot 29 for this.
I think that's the first Mitchell
Van Gogh.
I've noticed that did not sell. I could be wrong.
I was waiting for it. And for this major picture, which is one of the
okay, here's the Van Gogh, 28 to 35 million.
And the last one in private hands. Very influenced by Japanism at that time. It was painted, and we should start here at $20 million. At $20 million, 22 million. At $22 million.
Relatively small, 20 by 24 inches.
At $22 million now. At $22 million. At $24 million. In the first place here with David Kleibeck-Desvan, the head of department here in New York, at $24 million on the first telephone. At $24 million for the Van Gogh. At $24 million.
Let's see if this gets any interest. That might be their guarantor at $24 million.
$26 million. $26 million now.
Oh, they did get another bid.
$28 million.
Okay, here we go.
$500,000 with Alex Rutter at $28,500,000 on the first telephone against you at $28,500,000 and against you, David.
So the telephone bidders.
$28,500,000.
There are specialists from Christie's talking to people on the telephone. The auctioneer knows who every one of those specialists is actually talking to.
I'm going to sell it to Alex's telephone for $20,000.
He knows if they're a great client.
$100,000. Last chance, David.
Has an idea how much
they all in the room
bid.
and selling the Van Gogh here at Rockefeller Center to Alex's telephone. For you, Alex, 28.5.
Okay, 28.5 on that.
23.23. On to lot 30. Lot 30, this Monet of Saint-Georges Majeur, shown here on the screen, 1908.
All right, I said I was going to go after the Van Gogh, but I actually want to stay for 3 more lots, and then I have to pack for my trip.
And we should start here at $8,500,000.
This is a Monet, 30 inches by 20 or 24 by 28 inches, 12 to 18 million.
At $9,500,000. At $9,500,000.
I don't like surrealism, but the next 2 lots are by Monet. I love Magritte.
At $10 million.
So I want to see with you guys what those two do.
At $11 million. At $11 million.
I'll tell you the Monet. I just don't get excited about Monet anymore.
At $11 million.
I appreciate the history of it.
Selling to you, Sarah, for $11 million. At $11 million. Against a few other phones for $11 million.
But let's watch these next two Renee Magritte.
Alice and Keith.
The next one I really like. I like them both.
New place with Keith Gill, head of department here in London, at $11.5 million now. At $11.5 million. One more, Sarah. At $11
I think I like the next lot the best. I don't know. It's just not. Once you know it's Magritte, you know it's Magritte. But you might not look at it and know it's Magritte. but it makes sense once you see it. And I kind of like those things that are a little
at 11.
maybe off the beaten path. The bowler hat or something you might totally expect.
Sarah, I will through at 11,500,000 with Keith's telephone. Sarah, it's now or never selling to Keith's telephone. Give me a hint, yes or no, or perhaps at 11,500,000. No, it is for you then, and selling at $11,500,000. About 23.56.
Okay, so that Monet was just below the low estimate.
On to lot 31, the first Magritte of this evening's sale, Le Séducteur.
I would love this painting.
Coming from the collection of Noel
20
Thomas
by 24 inches.
And we should start here at 4,200,000, 4,500,000.
1951, again, intimate scale. I just like the look of it.
At 4,800,000. With Olivier
I like that it's not immediately recognizable as a Magritte.
4,800,000 of first telephone here. At 4,800,000 now. At 4,800,000, 5,200,000 already against you, but I'll take 5.5, Alex. At 5,200,000. Do you want to come back? At 5,200,000. Back with Olivier.
Getting close to the low estimate. I'm sure they'll sell it at this level.
5,200,000. It is here with you at 5,300,000. At 5.3. Olivier. It's with Alex. What should we do?
YouTube gives me some demographics about my audience in terms of like age, location, gender identification, but they don't tell me my audience's net worth. So if any of my audience out there wants to donate $6 or $7 million to the cause for me to have a Rene Magritte, and I think that's really kind of a worthy endeavor. Should any of you want to do that?
6 million. Try 6.2, Alex.
But the bidding keeps going on, so we might have to raise that level of
6,100,000. At 6.1. 6,200,000.
And now they're going to inch along. They've got two bidders.
At 6.3. 6,400,000. 6,500,000.
I see it from both perspectives. Inching along at smaller increments on some of these lots
600,000
does not make for the most entertaining television.
At 6 million.
That's when the personality of the auctioneer comes in, trying to keep people engaged. Also, it's their job to literally get as much money out as possible. So they have to balance that between keeping the audience engaged and getting the most money possible.
1941, beautiful early work coming from.
All right, here's what I think looks more like a typical Magritte. 25 by 20 inches, 1941.
Family, and which was included in all the major retrospectives. And we should start at 2,500,000, 2,800,000, at 2,800,000, $3 million. Back with you, Olivier.
Estimate 4 to 7.
At $3 million with Olivier Camus' telephone at 3 million. At 3,200,000, 3,500,000, at 3,500,000. At 3,500,000. It's back with you, Olivier, at 3,500,000. At 3,500,000. With Olivier's telephone.
Thank you for the comments, Sarah. I hope it's been interesting. I try not to be too annoying.
Now at 3,800,000.
I try to provide. I've been doing this for a while. I try to provide some things you might not know just by watching the auction itself.
This year, with you, Connor, at 3.8. No, at 3.8 then. For you, Connor, and selling at $3,800,000.
All right.
Sold to you to pal 20.
So the second Magritte did not reach its low estimate, but it did sell.
On to lot 33, the two of the.
I think on that note,
watercolors shown here on the screen.
I am going to sign off. Thank you all for watching. If you do want to watch the rest of the auction, go to Christie's YouTube channel. Do not go to YouTube or to Christie's website because they were hacked last week. You didn't hear the beginning ahead of this sale. So their website has been down. They have been trying to put together $800 million worth of sales this week without a website. So when I said earlier, if you heard me, they've been working their asses off. They've been totally working their asses off. and
with the gentleman
I got to give them a thumbs up and a kudos. And again, thank you all for watching. Thanks for being patient because I couldn't go live for 15 minutes because the software would not let me, but we got it done and we got to watch part of the auction. Again, I'm hitting the road tomorrow, but I look forward to talking again when I return. So look for some more videos, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.
At 750 against the three of you.